Hi. So in this video, I want to talk about relationships, love triangles, being stuck with certain people, and also having this so-called veil or cloak of personality, or at least, well, that's the title I put on this. And what I mean by that is that we meet a lot of people in our lives, and sometimes we see it with others, sometimes it's with us, where you try your best to be kind, to be generous, just being yourself. And then for some reason, people see you completely opposite. No matter how kind you try to be, how giving, how, hey, like, I'm just going to try to be a nice person, solve the issue, or just, communicate about this stuff. And no matter what you do, people still see you as if you're manipulative. They think that, oh, this person is kind of like angry and they have this pushback with you where they don't want to get close to you. They spread gossip, they talk bad about you. And no matter what you do to even change that point of view or assumption of who you are, they will still see you very differently than how you like allow yourself to be or sort of like show yourself to others. And because of that, like I look at this issue as if there are beings like entities and there are people, and it goes with curses and other stuff, where we have this cloak of personality, where there's this veil, cloak, if you have seen Harry Potter, it's the cloak of invisibility. It's as if someone puts it on you, and no matter what you try to do, people will see the cloak, but not the real you. They will see what's on the surface, the given personality, the program one, where a group wants to make sure that others see you as someone dark, as someone they don't want to talk to, as someone who will betray them, or someone not worthy of trusting, or something else. And, people have this reputation, and I think like you are not someone they want to talk to. While deep inside, you are doing your best to just give things to others and all that. So this cloak of personality, well, one way to remove it is just like identifying. If you see this issue that no matter what you do, things are not changing, people still perceive you differently, try to identify how do they see you? What are the personalities and beingnesses and the essence and characteristics they see in you that no matter what you do to show differently, they still perceive you differently? I'm sorry about repeating all the words, but basically, once you identify the personality that others see in you, and if you think that you are not showing it, think of like, okay, so there is this cloak of personality that has stress, that has anxiety, that has manipulation. It is not me, it is not who I am, but others perceive that within me. So what I do is I identify that cloak, like the personality characteristics that others see in me, or that's the cloak. And I just like literally think of what if I'm about to grab this cloak, like as if I'm wearing this bag over my head or something. I grab it, I imagine it, I have an intention to remove it, and I just pull it off. Like I know what it is exactly I'm grabbing. It's not just like air. It's like, okay, this personality cloak that has stress, like stressfulness or manipulation or something else, and you identify it, you pull it off, and boom, it's gone. So it goes in lots of ways, but I wanted to talk about all of these subjects because as I'm looking into relationships and I'm talking to a lot of people, I see that they are involved with love triangles and not necessarily love triangles. There's always a group of people where they have the third part involved and someone is having a great relationship and then the third one comes in and they ruin it for them. That third one is like a trigger that sets off all kinds of alarms, triggers people, said like causing miscommunication, causing all kinds of incidents. And all of a sudden, the relationship the two people had where they were super close falls off. And these two people, might have the best interest in each other, trying to connect, trying to give, trying to love, and yet they just can't see eye to eye because of the third person. So it's not like these two have an issue. It's the third one like triggering both, causing the issue. And it happens because of the love triangle, like the alien love bite, as some people call, but also past lives. A lot of people have agreed to have a certain relationship in the past, and that it affects the present. And you might see it with others, where it is super hard to leave the house. As in, if you're living with parents, if you're living with someone you're close and you feel like, hey, If I would have my own life, I would just leave, I would do this. And you have an idea of how it would be. Of course, like it's the comfort zone. It would be stressful to leave that thing. But at the same time, is this inability to let go. It's like having to like feeling like you have to sacrifice for others, like you have to please everyone else, giving your life away to others, and kind of like, in a way, a savior syndrome-ish. Save them all, give them all your best, and kind of like giving out everything you have and leaving nothing for yourself. Feeling like you just have to live for others kind of thing. So there's that. But there's also like, you look at relationships, that no matter what you do, this person just does not like you. And well, you might be an awful person. Or, you're trying your best, but someone else just hates you. Someone else doesn't like you. They see you differently. They assume and see and perceive the situation very differently than you do or others do. And so there are times when people from our past that we agree to, like, oh, you are going to be my only one. You and me forever together. Or you have been involved in some love triangles or relationships where you wanted the person so bad that you ended up using mind control. You end up altering their consciousness. You end up using some magic or curses or other things like love spells where that person will belong to me. They will be obsessed over me and stuff like that. And for a while it worked. That was like the best relationship you've ever had. You've been worshipped, you've been loved, you've got everything you ever wanted, and then you left. And you end up here on Earth. But that person that had your love spell, that was manipulated by you, that was so obsessed over you, and I'm not saying that you're necessarily the bad guy causing all of that. There are situations where people will do this, but also it goes the other way. Sometimes, we just like fall in love or have someone else liking us, loving us, worshiping us to the point where it's a bit too much. And we're like, no, look, I don't want to be with you. I don't like you. I have my own life, and they're still coming after you. It's like, oh, damn. So when these people are like that and you end up here on Earth and you haven't fixed those relationships, they might still come after you. And even though they might not incarnate here on Earth and have a relationship with you, they will be like, in a way, selfish, jealous, and they'll make sure that no one can have you if they cannot have you. Meaning, if you're trying to have a relationship with a guy or a girl, doing no matter what to have them to like you, to connect with them, or just have a simple conversation, and you constantly see some interference. There's always the third party coming in. There's always the other person reacting, or you accidentally say something, it's miscommunication, mispronunciation, and other things. It causes a lot of different assumptions, misperception of the situation, and all of a sudden there's a lot of issues and arguments and falling off, and like, oh my God, like it was just this one little thing, and if that wouldn't have happened, things would have been best. Like, oh, come on. And it's not necessarily you. It's not necessarily your fault. You might have been saying all the best stuff, but the other person's reaction is not necessarily their fault either. We have this third party from your past life that is kind of like crazy about you, and they will not let you have anyone else if they cannot have you. So destroying relationships like that, altering thoughts, altering the assumption of the situation. As in, two people will hear the same thing, they will understand the same thing, but just the other person will have their mind tricked to perceive things differently, to hear things like, to hold like misperception, and all of a sudden, it just causes issues, and people are falling out, and like they cannot connect, and constant issues like that. So as I'm looking into these like relationships, like I'm saying, this cloak of like personality where others, will see us differently, it's one of the like bigger things. Like it's more common these days. Entities affecting how we feel, putting our emotions on steroids, that happens too. But people from our past lives, it's quite a thing. And so mentioning the subject, one of the ways to deal with it is like addressing people we have been with, saying like, it's just like stating that you no longer want to be with them, that if you ever promise that it's going to be you and me together forever, that you've changed your mind, that you no longer promise that you will live differently, stuff like that. Also looking at the things you might have done. Like, you're not always the victim. You have to look at the side of, okay, if they're coming after you like that, what have you done? It might be your fault, actually. You might have used a love spell, you might have affected their mind. You being the wonderful creator that can do everything and still not getting what you want, you can manipulate things around you, change how people see you, change their consciousness, and all of a sudden they come after you. They love you, they worship you, they like you, and all that. And some of us will use that. Just like, oh, it's like, well, it's just part of the game, it's part of the creation. Why not? I will try it, and then I can like leave them be. But some of us just forget about it. And so we do stuff to mess with people, so they would like us or not, and they still come after us. And we're thinking like, why can't we have this relationship here on Earth? Why are they coming after us? I haven't done anything. Well, you might have done a lot of stuff that you just don't remember. So if you're at cause, if it's something you have done, again, saying that you are sorry, or even like what I'm doing recently, just take a remote control and think of like putting this button where you're gonna go and have time going in reverse, and all of a sudden you see a lot of events happen, or you might get the idea or understanding, and you literally undo everything that you've done. The relationships, the love spells, any conflicts or destruction or anything, you undo it all and you jump on a different timeline. And basically that aspect that has caused issues or got involved in certain relationships that are now coming after you in this life, well, you kind of kick it out. So these are variations, but this is a huge subject. So if you have any kind of issues, love triangles, alien love bite, incubus, succubus, and stuff like that, please share in the comment. Please share what kind of issues you have. What's your story? What are you experiencing? Do you need any help dealing with those things or not? And if you're interested, me and my friend Kimberly, we're doing this workshop 3 weekends in a row. It's Spooky October theme, where we're going to talk about like alien love bite, incubus, succubus, connecting with some loved ones and animals and stuff like that. So if you're interested, please check out my website, aquilasava.com, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.